What is going on, everybody? This is the Fresh Baked Goods, and thank you for clicking on another Hell Let Loose video. We've got something really fun today. Team 17 has officially released the roadmap for 2023 and what's coming in Hell Let Loose, and it's a lot. Content-wise, bug fixes, there's a lot of everything in here. So I figure it's best to go through the video and kind of stop and talk about each thing as we go through it. But if you want the too long, didn't watch kind of rendition of it, we're getting 3 new factions and 2 new game modes as far as content goes, as well as all the bug fixes, plenty of map refreshes, and maybe some even core gameplay refreshes as well. So let's watch it. Let's talk about it. So right off the bat, they're throwing a lot of production in this announcement here.
For this studio, we created a development team from scratch. The dev team itself is a mixture of all of the major disciplines of game development. So you've got game design, which is what I work in, art, code, and QA and production. Plus we have an audio director as well. And it was really built around Hell Let Loose as a project. It brought together everyone in a way that where we could work the way we always like to work, and that was fun.
So this is basically a cool way of saying they built a studio just for Hell Let Loose. They're really trying to back it. They're really trying to produce something good here.
I think that what Team 17 has done with this new studio is also given all of us who have been making games for so long a lot of freedom to be able to say, you know, we understand what the core of Hell Let Loose is, and yet we want to give you the freedom to take that to the next level and to really bring to the players a lot of anticipated content and even some stuff that they may not have been anticipated, but we're really excited to share with them.
Well, it's been an incredibly exciting journey up to now. We've brought together a group of really passionate developers who are like subject matter experts, really into the game. So we've formed this team together, and we're just really, really excited to get stuck in.
I just want to note that he did say experts, so maybe some more historically accurate stuff coming out.
Into the game now.
And here it is. This is the roadmap. This is what everyone wanted, what everyone was asking for the past, 3 full months now. It's not very pretty to look at, but it's a lot of information on here, and it looks like there is a pattern. We'll talk about more of the stuff as the video goes on, but April we have, the general bug fixing update coming out. Then in June it looks like it's a much larger, kind of content update with the British forces. And then in July we're back to kind of a smaller update. And, it looks like we'll get a new game mode, we'll get the in-game store and some other DLC. And then September will be a kind of smaller update again. And then December is another gigantic update. So looks like we're looking out of 2 out of the 5 updates are going to be very, very large here. And since there's really only, 8 months left in the year, that's not bad. That's every 4 months here. We're going to get something good.
So we're really excited to get players into update 13.5 at the beginning of April, when we as a new studio were looking at the first ways that we could help support Hell Let Loose. Quality of life rose to the top, bug fixing rose to the top, and it became a huge priority, not just to say thank you to the players, but to demonstrate the level of quality that we want to bring going forward.
Okay, we'll wait in a couple days. You gotta wait for a couple days until, we get the actual everything being fixed and everything there. We could actually see everything in the dev brief and see everything that's actually coming, because right now we're still unclear on that.
Are being implemented into the back end, which will be delivered with update 13.5, which are aiming to essentially allow the developers the ability to deliver fixes quicker and more effectively, including some of our longer standing and legacy bugs as well.
Grenade bug, loadout bug, this is what they're talking about there. They're trying to figure out a way to fix the problem, because let's be honest, right now nobody knows how to fix it.
A lot of what we're talking about today is exciting new features and content. We want to make sure we don't forget the game that's already there. And going forward, every single update, as well as bringing new content, will concentrate on making sure that we continually improve legacy content as well.
Every single milestone we'll be releasing new content. We'll be doing updates to the most popular existing maps as well. They'll be ranging anything from, lighting passes to adding extra atmospherics into the levels and things, and redressing them and have much more storytelling in these levels as well.
There's a big
So that's promising because maps like Stalingrad, even Kursk could use a little more filler in them. And then same with maps like, honestly, like Saint Marie Dumont and Saint Marie Glise. We've been playing these for Saint Marie Dumont. We've only been playing for like almost a year now, but Saint Marie Glise we've been playing for a while. Some of these maps could use a little more oomph in them in some areas, and it's refreshing to see that this might happen. I'm also hoping for, fingers crossed, for night maps for these popular maps, because right now the only night maps we have are for like Foy, Herkin, Purple Heart Lane, Remagen, maps that not everybody enjoys playing. If you give me Night Carentan, Night St. Mary Glise, I think that'd be an awesome way to kind of come out with a big bang when you refresh these maps.
Big way of saying thank you to everyone for playing Hell Let Loose and enjoying the game, and maybe meeting some new friends in the game and forming the community and forming clans, etc., which we love, is having some free DLC for everyone. We've got a whole rafter of ideas about some of that, what that DLC can look like. We've got, for example, some special helmets that we've done for free.
There's always
going
to be DLC coming out.
It's just a way of saying thank you for playing the game.
It's
free. Thank you for enjoying the
Why
game.
not?
And I'm looking forward to playing the game with you all. I'm sure I have done in the past.
One of the things that we've heard as a consistent piece of feedback from players is something that we refer to as mantling, which we've taken great care into finding ways to improve this throughout the course of the game so that it feels like a smoother experience for players, and so that they don't feel like they're getting caught up in the objects in the environment, but rather using the objects in the environment to their advantage.
So that's really cool to hear. I know this is not something that everyone was really asking for, but let's be honest, the movement in Hell Loose is pretty janky. Obviously, it's come a long ways from where it used to be, but traversing the environment Hell Loose is not necessarily a smooth thing. You still get caught up on lots of things in the environment. It's not easy to just jump over a wall. Your player walks up to a wall and gets stuck on it, even though it's like half a foot tall. So I think this is going to be something that just is not something that everyone asked for, but something that's going to, low-key really improve infantry combat in this game.
Update 14, one of the key pieces of content is the British. There's a whole bunch of new weapons and new vehicles in the game. So one of my particular favorites is the Firefly that had a awesome 17-pounder gun.
Got one tank
that could really sock it to the Germans. So that's in the game, plus British weapons such as the Bren gun, such as Sten guns, as what you would expect from the British forces. Black Matter did a great job on putting in the Soviets, the German forces, and the American forces. And with our British pack, it's the starting point for those British forces in the same way that they did it.
So this sounds like it's not going to be a massive thing. It's going to be similar to how the Russians were, probably like 2-3 maps maybe, who knows. And I'm very curious to see what kind of tank the Firefly is, because if I'm thinking correctly, it's kind of a tank destroyer. So I don't know if that just goes right into the heavy tank slot or how they're going to do this, but we'll have to wait and see what they got.
In Hell Let Loose, it's really important to communicate with your team. I think we've all had those games where you're playing with someone that doesn't have a microphone and, isn't able to communicate, which is a real problem. If you don't communicate in Hell Let Loose, you're probably not going to do very well. We're going to bring a new form of non-verbal communication. So those people that haven't got a microphone or are unable to use a microphone are still going to be able to communicate with their teammates and still be that team player.
Okay, right off the bat, use a microphone in this game. If you're watching this and you're going to play Hell Loose, please just use a microphone. You'll be happier. Your team will be happier. You will all have more fun. That said, this could go a couple of different ways. Obviously, my first reaction is emotes are bad, and I don't like that. They could easily go down a bad pathway of just being goofy. They could be sold. I don't like that. I think about Fortnite. I think about really dumb shit. The other option is this could be beneficial in some ways. Think of it as, I go back to my Battlefield 5 days when I'm asking my squad leader what an objective is, and it's just an easy kind of, joystick up, select this, and verbally says, your soldier says, what's our objective? So stuff like that, I feel like this could go in a cool direction. Obviously, they don't dive into specifics here. It could be very bad. It could be kind of cool. We'll have to wait and see. I'm really hoping it's not just dumb emotes down the line, but we'll have to wait and see what it is.
For update 15, we have the...
And please note, that man just said update 15, so that's how far. There's a plan in place. We're only halfway through this video. They're going to keep going. we're already talking about update 15. So there's a plan in place. They have something that they want to do, which is so refreshing to hear. There's ideas in play that's being worked on, but yeah, let's keep watching.
The Assault on the Breakout Battery. This is inspired by the memoirs of Dick Winters, the American 101st Airborne, made famous in the Band of Brothers episode. What we've done is take the existing map, taken the Breakout Battery part of it, and created a new game mode centered around that. Now, this game mode is a shorter gameplay experience.
The new game modes.
Not everybody has an hour and a half to play a full-size Hell Let Loose game. So we've introduced this new smaller game mode. It's smaller sides, there's no armor. Some of the abilities of the commander are going to change a little bit, really focusing around the shorter game for players who just want to jump in, play Hell Let Loose, have a really fun experience, but that can be more playable in, say, 30 to 40 minutes.
So, new game mode, objective, first one confirmed, smaller sides, no armor, commander abilities changed or whatever. Obviously me being kind of like a tank dude, this is actually something I really want. I want something different. I want something that I can jump into that won't take as long. I only get a couple hours of the day to actually game after work, and that's really it. So this will be something different. Say if my friends aren't on and I can't really tank right now, I'll go jump into this and have some fun. I think this doesn't really hurt the game. There might be some questions about, will this dilute the player base? Yeah, maybe, but I think it'll honestly keep more people around and bring more people in than it will actually dilute it. So I think this is a wise move and honestly just going to be really refreshing for a lot of people. What does this mean for servers? Especially on PC for community servers. You can't have a game full of 100 people, then kick out the majority of them just to go to some smaller game mode. It doesn't work like that. So I don't know if this will be something that you need your own brand new community server for, and it'll just be this one game mode. There's a possibility that community servers go away with forever, and it kind of goes into just, you select a game mode and it puts you in with something, maybe with a party system. If that's the case, that's not going to be great. You lose a lot of what makes community servers great on Hell Let Loose and keeps this game afloat when you do that. So I'm very curious to see how this is implemented. I have no doubts it'll be fun, it'll be different. It's just kind of how it works. And it'll be great for the comp scene too. I think this will be really interesting.
We always want to have a very immersive experience for the players. That's ultimately the goal. And so we're trying to bring more of those moments into it. It's just an exciting experience.
There's a lot of role play that the community like to carry out due to the historical accuracy that Hell Let Loose offers them. So yeah, seeing the 101st Airborne Assault Infantry join the game is going to be really, really exciting for them.
We're looking at new artillery units, we're looking at new German machine gun units and that. Just creating much more accuracy and bringing a visual fidelity.
So they're talking about 101st Airborne, talking about units, specific things. So I wonder if we're going to have specific, I don't know if it'll just be skins inside or we'll have like map specific German factions, map specific US factions. If it'll just be more historically accurate. It's kind of neat that they're kind of digging down a little deeper into this and going to give us more variety here for what we already have.
That's much higher from what people have seen before.
One of the things that we want to do is look at new, ways that we can bring the game to more people. And two ways that we're going to do that this year is the game will be launched on the Windows 10 store as well on PC. And this is maybe a little bit selfish for myself because I have one, but we want to bring the game to Steam Deck.
Okay, if you play this game on a Steam Deck, that's cool, but you're also a fucking lunatic. I cannot imagine, you're already fighting in such long ranges in this game. Can you imagine looking at that tiny little screen and looking for a pixel? That's going to be such a terrible experience, but hey, if you want to do it, that's awesome. It's up to you.
Which is a platform that we think is going to work really well for Hell Let Loose and for people that want to be able to play in the move as well.
An important part of bringing in new players is obviously ensuring that we have a better onboarding system and new tutorials and content. The community have already done a fantastic job in creating their own tutorial content, but now we're going to take that to the next level.
Another thing we're going to...
Okay, so, I just want a tutorial. Do I think this is going to be an in-game tutorial? I absolutely do not. Like, let's even go back a few seconds here and look at that icon. you'll notice it's a camera looking icon up there. So I think it's going to be like, I don't think it'll be community content. I think it'll be made in-house. I think it'll be well produced, you know, that they're capable of it. Look at this roadmap announcement. It's pretty well done. So I think they're going to come out with something on their own, which is fantastic. You know, I think about Battlefield 5, when you first time you click on a game mode, it gives you a brief 30-second, you know, very well produced video of what that game mode is about, what you're supposed to be doing and everything. So if they can come out with something like that for specific roles, specific game modes, I think we're going to be in a good place, you know, at least a better place than we are now.
New tutorials and content. The community have already done a fantastic job in creating their own tutorial content, but now we're going to take that to the next level.
Another thing we're going to do is we're going to bring an in-game store. In the game, you'll be able to see all the new content, and as we've already talked about, we're bringing a lot of new, both free and paid for DLC this year and moving forward in future years as well. So it'll be very easy in-game to be able to see what's available, purchase and use it straight away.
Okay, I know a lot of people are going to hear in-game store like it's the end of the world, whatever, they're ruining it, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, as long as it's just cosmetics, I don't give a shit. It is totally fine. If you want to support the game and buy a skin, go for it. As long as it's kept semi-realistic and not ridiculous like Call of Duty or even Battlefield went, I think this will be awesome. Team 17 spent a lot of money on Hell Let Loose. They have to make it back somehow. So you're honestly kidding yourself if you didn't think this was coming at some point. So honestly, all we can do now that it's been confirmed is hope that it's kept realistic, hope that it's not cartoonish, and hope that it's not something that's pay to win and it's kept purely cosmetics that don't affect gameplay in any sort of way. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be too different from what they're already doing. Instead of going straight to the Steam store, it's going to be in game now, and they're going to take you know, they don't get cut out by Steam. They make all the money themselves. So I don't think it's going to be too different than what's currently going on now.
So for update 18, we've got a lot of new content for the game. One of the really ambitious plans that we have for Hell Let Loose is this massive stream of content with regular cadence of updates for the game. So every calendar year, we're going to focus on 1 year from World War II. For us, that means starting in 1939 all the way through to the end of the war in 1945.
We go back to...
So that's pretty cool, right? Everyone that was worried about what they're going to do with this game, they have a long-term goal, starting at the start, ending at the end. And I think this is going to be mainly Europe. I think Pacific personally will be held to Hell Let Loose 2, which is fine. That theater of war is probably much better to tackle in an engine like Unreal Engine 5 and not what we currently have. But I don't think a lot of people were expecting this. I don't think a lot of people were expecting, you know, what they're going to focus on here.
Formerly Danzig, now Gdansk, where the famous post office battle happened in 1939, and Polish forces are trying to defend the post office against the German forces, and we bring more of a skirmish mode into the new game.
Now, this is a smaller map, so it's not a full-size Hell Let Loose map, it's a smaller map. It's a very, very urban map, and it has a whole bunch of different objectives. The other part for this update, which is absolutely massive for us, is we're going to cover the Winter War.
So before we dive into Winter War, it's very interesting what they just said. You know, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the Polish map that the Danzig battle, all the Danzig stuff will be specifically for the objective and skirmish game modes. It sounds like it's going to be a smaller map for those modes. I didn't really necessarily take that as something that's going to be for the normal Hell Let Loose warfare mode. So it's very curious. I'm very curious to see what they do with this. Is there going to be another warfare map version coming out for the Polish, or is the whole faction going to be tucked away in this 1 or 2 game modes that they're making?
This is between Finland and the Soviet Union. Both sides have a whole bunch of new weapons and new vehicles. It's the first time we've included Finland into the mix for Hell Let Loose. They have very particular uniforms and styles of fighting.
Hopefully it's not just a reskin of the Germans.
For more hit-and-run guerrilla-esque tactics. There's a whole bunch of new content for that. And new
Okay,
gameplay
so what they
modes
just showed
and
there,
new
obviously,
guerrilla-esque
this
tactics.
looks like a
There's
Warfare
a whole
map to me.
bunch of
This
new
looks
content
awesome.
for that, and new gameplay modes and new gameplay features for those.
From a visual point of view, it's like such a dramatic landscape. The combination between the beauty of nature with all the lighting and the mountains and scenery and everything like that, and contrast against the battle, against the hell that's actually going on. There's an opportunity for us to be able to have dynamic weather,
It's great
to be able
looking.
to have a blizzard coming into the battlefield midway and things, and how that's actually going to affect and change the gameplay. So I think it's going to be really exciting.
Okay, so dynamic weather, let's go. That is freaking awesome. Are you kidding me? Something that can change the gameplay mid-battle and really kind of affect what's going on. You know, let's say two teams are really grinding it out and a blizzard comes in and all of a sudden it's a great time to push. That is freaking cool. And it's something that has been missing from Hell Let Loose. You know, these maps kind of do feel stagnant every time. It's a bummer that, say, like, you know, the weather modes and lighting, everything is stuck to whether it be offensive or warfare, and you can't change that, or it's not even random. So having dynamic weather into some of these maps, I think, will be refreshing and honestly really change gameplay more than we think. Think about how different maps are for night mode to regular sometimes.
Hell Let Loose has had such a wonderful player base, and as we bring it to the next level and to more players, we want to keep the core essence of everything that is Hell Let Loose, but we also want to demonstrate a next chapter.
The community's input is obviously incredibly important, and they are the drivers of the game, and we want to make sure that they've got opportunity to enjoy new battles and increase the longevity of the game itself as well.
We want to work with you to make this game everything it can be.
Come on. They're saying it. We just got to see if they deliver. So that's it. That is the roadmap for 2023. You know, I'm kind of curious to wait and see if this is what people wanted, what their thoughts are on it. If you're wondering what my thoughts on it are, honestly, this is more than I thought we were going to get. I thought we were going to get a couple patches fixing bugs and then maybe the British at the end of the year. The fact that we're getting 3 new factions, 2 new game modes, obviously a whole plethora of maps and vehicles and everything is freaking awesome. Like I said, there's 8 months left in the year. This is a lot coming out in these months. It's going to be here before you know it. And this game is going to grow like crazy this year because of it. I think there's a lot to be excited for here. I really do. I still think there's a lot that they didn't even specifically talk about in this video. I think this is a very, very intentionally vague video and roadmap, because what they're not talking about here, what they can still change, is changes to basic gameplay, the metas, the vehicles, the tanks, everything that could still come out this year. You know, I do love this game and I'm very excited for this year. I was starting to get doubtful and this has put me at ease. Let's wait and see what happens. In a couple days here, we got update 13.5. Hopefully there's a lot of bug fixes in there. We'll have to see the changelog, see what we're working with. But this was a great roadmap. I thought this was a great way to introduce, for T17 to introduce themselves to us. It was a very well-produced video, and I thought it was really cool. So that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything you do. I'll see you dudes on the front line.